Happy Tuesday, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Let me introduce ourselves. That was Derrick Gunn. That is Barrett Brooks.
Here.
I am Rob Ellis. present, hanging out with you. And thanks for hanging out with us. We do appreciate it. That's for sure. So a lot going on today, guys. We have Todd Zalecki joining us from Clearwater, Florida. So looking forward to that. That'll be at 2 o'clock. At 1 o'clock, Bob Brookover for NJ.com. Bob, who was with the Inquirer forever and did a great job covering the Phillies, has hopped over to NJ.com and covers the Giants. Now, one of the many reasons to have Bob on is, the Giants are in a very similar situation that the Eagles are in that their quarterback, although his contract is up, but their quarterback's about to, at least they're probably already engaged in contract negotiations, and a lot of different accounts of what he's looking for. Some say upwards of $45 million per year, and some are saying, is he nuts? But we'll get the feel for Bob Brookover and kind of where that's at, and whether or not. I guess the question is, if you're the Eagles guys, do you wait to set the market to see what happens with Lamar Jackson, with Daniel Jones, with maybe some other guys? Burrow, is in a similar situation to Hurts as well. How do you think that plays out?
If I was Hurts, I kind of wait a little bit just to see where the market's going to be set at. Right now, he's the second best quarterback in the league when it comes to what transpired over the year. Patrick Mahomes, then him. So, him being a top 5 quarterback, why shouldn't he want top 5 money? When you got a guy like Daniel Jones, who's middle of the pack, if not, he's right around 16 or 15 as far as ranking, as far as quarterbacks. Why would you even rush this? And I know that the Eagles are going to want to rush it, but it's almost at a point right now that I believe that, the Eagles are probably in panic mode right now, because if he's going to garner that much money and no telling how much he's going to get guaranteed, man. The precedent has already been set for guaranteed money for quarterbacks. This is going to be crazy. This market's going to be crazy for Jalen Hurts.
The Arizona Cardinals and the Cleveland Browns already upset the apple cart in terms of quarterback structured money. So when you compare 1 year of what Jalen Hurts did to a whole body of work of what Deshaun Watson and Kyler Murray did, if I'm the Eagles, I know I got to pay to play.
Yep.
Plain and simple. And let's face it, Howie Roseman has never been bashful about paying players well. But it's going to be frustrating, like Barrett said, because I'm sure the Eagles want to get this done sooner rather than later. But if I'm Jalen Hurts and my representative, here's what I'm saying. Dude, you're 24 years old. Whatever you make it for your rookie year, what did he make this year? $3-4 million?
Yeah, he's scheduled to make 4.3.
Okay. You're 24 years old. You're making 7 figures at the very least. You're not hurting for money. Okay. There's no rush. Let's see what David Carr gets. Let's see what Daniel Jones, what the Giants buckle and give him. Because I saw a report yesterday from a writer that didn't have a lot of followers, but just reading the body of the tweet that he put out, that the Giants are disgusted by Daniel Jones' demands. He seems to be a respected writer in the region because a lot of people, said, hey, we believe him. He's a source of truth. If the Giants are disgusted by what Daniel Jones are asking, and again, it's based on what I saw, not firsthand information, that's going to be a long, drawn-out discussion. Or if the Giants are just going to get to a point, you know what? We can go out and find us the next Jacoby Brissett or somebody like that temporarily who will be just as good, maybe even better than Daniel Jones in certain aspects.
I don't know.
A lot cheaper.
I don't know.
But, and we don't know, because I heard that Lamar Jackson and Baltimore is something like $100 million apart.
Wow.
$100 million apart? So I'm not in a hurry.
Well, Gunner, Rob, you look at you look at A-Rod's contract. He got 3 years, 150.
Right.
3 years, 150.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's $50 million all day.
Yep.
So that's where the mark starts. At least if I'm Hurts, that's where the mark starts right there.
Don't leave out Deshaun Watson, guys. Fully guaranteed.
That's what I'm saying. Fully guaranteed money. That's it. Yeah.
So, I think that could be a real sticking point, is guaranteed money. It's interesting. Mahomes was a little bit before these guys didn't get guaranteed money on the back end, of his. That is looking more and more like a crazy team-friendly deal, believe it or not.
Yes,
absolutely. I'm looking at the Hurts contract. We were like, man, damn, look at the Hurts contract. His contract is peanuts right now. What was he getting, like 36 mil when he signed? I'm not Hurts, but Wentz.
Oh, Wentz, yeah.
Look how far that is as far as being ancient. Look at Patrick Mahomes' deal is like ancient right now.
I'm just wondering, could this be anything less than 50?
It can't be.
And then if that's the case, do you just say you try and keep it a shorter term? Like, do you go five, 250 million? At that point, you get him to right around 30. He's 24 now. You get him to right around 30 and kind of see where you are from there. Or do you try to make it a long-term deal and spread the money out a little bit more where you're not getting cap crushed?
Like Patrick Mahomes.
Are you saying a 10-year 450? 10-year 450?
Yeah, I mean, the beauty of him only being 24 is maybe you don't feel as bad about a 10-year deal if maybe a couple of those back-end years aren't guaranteed, or it's just a much lesser of a cap hit. Look, look, I will take Howie over anybody else negotiating these contracts.
I don't know.
As far as not just crippling the team with this kind of stuff. But, man, Jalen's got a lot of ammunition. He's coming off a borderline MVP season where he finished second. Got his team to a Super Bowl. Played great, one mistake, but played.
Well, until he got hurt, I guess Rob is having a Wi-Fi issues again. Yeah. But, to pick up when he's talking about Barrett, you talk about Jalen Hurts' body of work. How many quarterbacks have done in his second year as a starter what Jalen Hurts has done? And I know you have to factor in the two games he missed because of injury, but still, his overall body of work for what he was able to accomplish, that's unheard of. Now, Josh Allen made that transition from year 2 to year 3. Okay. But in his second year, Jalen Hurts has been lights out in terms of what he's accomplished. Not only that, but the longer Jalen waits, in a lot of ways, he's handcuffing Howie from signing some other players. Mm-hmm. I mean, think about that. I mean, you got some strict. Now, I do know this. Here's what I do know as of talking to people over the last 24 hours. They want to keep Marcus Epps. There's no question they want CJ. They would like to keep TJ Edwards. They would like to keep Hargrave. You can't keep all of them. And they're going to try to offer them decent contracts to stay. But as I said to the people I was talking to last night, if there was ever a season, free agent players for the Eagles are in a prime position to make a whole lot of money, it's this season.
Right, I agree.
Even though they didn't win the whole brass ring, the numbers they put up were gargantuan numbers across the board.
That's exactly right, Derek. Almost every single free agent had a career year.
Now, say what you want to say about Seumalo. He was inconsistent. Seumalo's he's in position to make big money.
Bro, the ceilings are. I mean, the benchmark's already set for Seumalo, because when Big V got 50 over 5 years, that's like the watermark for him. When you're a guy leaving that started for the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? With the way he's been coached, that's just the benchmark right there. It's only going to go above that. So
yeah,
I mean, how else can you see anything different? These guys played at an unbelievable level, and they're all going to want to get paid. And
I think also in Seumalo's defense a little bit, the bar's set so high because he's playing with so many other great players that he makes one or two mistakes and we're all over him. Like he's still a pretty good player, man. So yeah, I mean, think about it. Bradbury had a phenomenal year. C.J. Gardner-Johnson had a phenomenal year. Hargrave had a phenomenal year. Even Miles Sanders, we've all kind of written that off, and I think he's gone, but he was over 1,000 yards.
There you go.
So, all of these guys are in position to cash, and there isn't one of them, with maybe excluding Brandon Graham, that isn't saying, I'm getting every last penny I can get. A lot of them are on their first go-around here with this opportunity of free agency. So, yeah, it's going to be hard, man. It's going to be really hard. And that's why You drafted Jordan Davis looking ahead partially for this. It's why you drafted. Nakobe Dean kind of fell into your lap, but it also benefits them if one of these guys walks. And Juergens you drafted because you thought Kelsey might walk or Seumalo might walk. That's why you did that. And so those guys are going to fill in. Then you're going to do it with the draft, and you're going to pick and choose guys you can bring back. Jalen's going to get done eventually, but then it comes down to who else is coming back. Is Bradbury coming back? Going to be hard if Slay's still here. I know, Derek, you talked about how don't discount the fact that maybe Slay gets traded. I hear you.
Yep.
But both aren't going to be back. Are you willing to pay a safety like $20 million a year with Gardner Johnson?
Ooh.
He's tied for the interception lead. He'll hit.
That's a lot
He's
of
got
money.
versatility. There's a lot of merit to bringing him back, but the safety still, and that's a position that I don't know that they love paying a safety that kind of money.
Well, that's what the benchmark is. Even if they turn around and they franchised him, and after we said it, we talked about it yesterday. It seems the reports right now are looking at those type of deals. They might just go ahead and franchise him. So we'll see.
Wow, franchise a safety. Wow, that's out of the norm for them to do something like that. Wow.
Well, I mean, realistically,
how bad do you want to keep them? I'm not saying
cheaper. It's cheaper to franchise them. When you look at the amount of money safeties are making, it'd be cheaper to franchise them than to give them a deal right now.
Okay, so if you franchise them for the 1 year, what is it? 18, 19 million? What is it?
I thought it was like, why is like 17.5 sticking in my head? I don't know.
Okay.
All right, let me look it up again. I looked it up yesterday.
So you franchise him for 17.
Yeah.
So you franchise him for 17. You still got to pay that quarterback. So that squeezes whatever your game plan is, whatever Howie Roseman's game plan is, it's squeezing them even more so if they want to keep Epps, if they try to keep Seumalo, if they want Kazir back, if they want TJ back. That squeezes them even more so. I don't disagree with it. I agree with you 100%. The franchise tag might be the safest route for him. But if you do that, that squeezes your numbers even more so. And the longer Jalen prolongs this negotiation, if I'm Jalen, I'm sitting back just like this. Call me when Lamar and Carr and those guys sign. Call my people then. That's what I'm doing. Now, obviously, from a fan perspective, from our media perspective, we want this thing done now. We want it done now so we can talk about the numbers. From a business standpoint, and again, let me emphasize what I said a few moments ago. He's 24 years old. He just led a team to a Super Bowl. He's going to make at least $4 million. He's sitting on $4 million at the very least for 24 years old. And so it ain't like he's filing for unemployment, okay? The future for him is there's a gold mine. It's a gold mine sitting in front of him. And whether he gets it today or tomorrow or not until May, June, July, whatever the case may be, we know the money's coming. He's in the driver's seat. Him and his agent in the driver's seat.
Well, so I don't know. Did you guys see the clip of AJ Brown from the podcast The Raw Room?
Oh yeah. No.
So basically, he was like, "Hey, wherever he's going, if you're not going to pay him, Howie, wherever he's going, send me too. Just send me right now."
Wait, who's he talking about?
Jalen.
Oh, Jalen. Okay.
So and he did it. He was doing it kind of smiling and half in jest, but half serious, and he said, "How about that for pressure, Howie?" or something like that to close it out. So, AJ jumping in.
That's good though, and that's
I'm
not
fine
meant,
with that.
there's no malicious intent with that or anything like that. They know that he's going to get signed. That's why he's able to say it and smile about it. But the franchise number for a quarterback right now is 32-4. 32 million for.
Yep.
For what?
For a quarterback. Franchise tag.
What was the safety? Was it
safety is 14.4.
14.4. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 14 million for a safety. I mean, that's cheaper than if he goes out on the open market and is able to go out there and try to get somebody to pay him. He'll get paid more than that.
But they generally don't do that. I mean, it's been a while. I think Deshaun Jackson was the last guy they did it with. That's a long time ago. So just my gut says there's not going to be a tag. He's either here or he's not. But we'll see. It is going to be interesting what happens here because it's on us now because franchise and transition tag window is open today. It's upon us now. So, they're going to have to make some decisions. That's for sure.
If they decide to tag Bradbury, cornerbacks, 18.1.
Yeah. And meanwhile, what Slay's already making, that would be a lot for your two corners.
Right. They got a deal.
Bradbury. Bradbury this year was 10, wasn't he?
10 million, yes.
Yeah. They're not tagging Bradbury. I tell you that right now.
I don't think they are either.
No.
That's ridiculous, man. It's crazy because even if they tried to tag Miles Sanders, it's 10 million.
Yeah, there's no prayer. I mean, you want to talk about a no shot? No shot. They're tagging a running back for 10 million. Zero. Zip.
What is that? Can you explain to me what a transitional tag is?
Yeah, it's like there's a little bit more flexibility with the transitional tag. I was looking at this earlier. I want to give you the exact definition because there's a lot of legalese. And it was something that the tag thing used to be different. It's weird.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what it is now.
Yeah, let me just pull it up. I had it. Hold on a second. All right. Transitional tag.
When you
so here it is. It's a 1-year tender offer for the average of the top 10 salaries at the position as opposed to the top 5. So the distinction is it's top 10. So there's a little bit more of a basement there, of a floor, than there is for the top 5. That's all. It guarantees the original club also the right of first refusal to match any deal. So somebody can also swipe in there and jump in and also maybe steal you away with a transitional if they go a little bit higher. Whereas I think you have full control over a franchise tag. Right. Makes sense?
Yep.
So
that's
that
happened with me, Bobby Taylor, and Mamula. They gave Bobby Taylor the transitional tag.
Yeah.
The year we were going into contract negotiations.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll see. You don't see the transitional tag thrown on guys much. You don't really see a ton of franchise either. But I guess it's a last resort if you're really feeling desperate. It's a weird spot. Look, I just think that as much as it behooves Jalen to maybe sit it out and see what the other guys do, there's going to be such a sense of urgency from the Eagles side of this that I don't know that, there might be offers you can't refuse thrown his way and he gets it done. Because Howie has to do this. He can't wait long with this because of all the other players.
It takes two sides to play.
Yeah.
I mean, it's smart business move from Jalen's side is to see. So imagine he signs a contract and for the love of life, I hope it wouldn't happen. If Daniel Jones got more money than him, I can't see it happening, but you don't know.
No, you don't.
You don't know. Did you ever think Kyler Murray would get that kind of contract this young in his career?
No, absolutely not.
Did you ever think,
especially the way he did it too,
and the way he pouted? Yes, had him put a clause in his contract that he doesn't have to do film study and all this crap. Are you serious,
Gunner? You're right, but that's an example of a poor organization doing things the bad way.
But it affects all those teams, Rob.
I know what you mean, but that's not Howie.
It's the gold standard. We're dealing with the gold standard.
I understand it. Okay, but that gold standard is going to have to polish off the trophy.
I know.
In this case, because of what Cleveland and Arizona did.
There's three that really are killing you if you're Howie, right? There's the Kyler Murray deal, there's the Deshaun Watson deal, and there's a Kirk Cousins deal. Yes. They're all killing you.
Yes.
They're all the ones that every other GM is calling each other saying, freaking believe these guys. You believe they gave him that guy. I'm telling you. It is what it is.
The Cousins deal and the Watson deal are really the ones that put a spur in everybody's ass right now.
Yep.
Because the guaranteed money, I think that's what Lamar is talking about right now. The guaranteed money is what puts you over the top. Guaranteed, man. That's a baseball contract. That's the only way that NFL players can get guaranteed contracts is if everybody just goes, all right, if you're not getting guaranteed, then we're not doing the deal.
Yeah.
And this could be one of those situations where the quarterbacks set the precedence from this point on guaranteed money. That's the only way that this can happen because the owners are not going to give it. And the union doesn't have enough strength with, the players back in the union to do it. They could be like, all right, well, we're just not going to play. That'd be the only way that changes, you know what I'm saying, to change the guaranteed deals. At this point, there won't be any guaranteed deals unless the players do it. And I think Jalen, all these quarterbacks come out, Carr, if they say, all right, we want guaranteed money, then that'll be the only way they can go through it. They got to be sticklers about it, though.
Right.
See, the biggest coffer that Lamar Jackson has in his pocket is in his second year in the league, he won a league MVP.
Yep.
but he's never led the Ravens past the divisional round in the playoffs. Okay, never led them past that point. He's missed games now. He's damaged merchandise, but yet I think, and I said it as I was driving home this morning, I think he's the measuring stick. When we talk about all these quarterbacks that could possibly get these big contracts, I think Lamar, the way Baltimore puts him on that pedestal, I think he's the measuring stick. When you talk about Carr, Daniel Jones, Lamar, I think Lamar is at the top of that heap in terms of what is Baltimore going to buckle and end up giving him? Because if they do anything short of signing him, they're going to be left with egg on their face because of two things. Number one, they included him in terms of getting a new offensive coordinator. Number two, they basically came out and said Lamar's going to get his money. Right. You already said that publicly. Yep. That was not a rumor by some reporter. You as a front office said that. So anything short of that, you're going to be left with egg on your face if he doesn't play for the Baltimore Ravens in 2023 and beyond.
Yeah, that was a weird. I don't know what the advantage of the Ravens doing that was. That was I don't know. That's their problem. But that was a strange thing to me that they came out that way, because it's been really weird with them the last year or so with Lamar.
Yeah, it has been. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. And maybe they're just trying to pave the way and make sure, everything's cool. And I know they changed up offensive coordinators, but man.
I don't understand, who's actually negotiating his contract. It's him and his mom, right?
It's him and his mom. Yeah. I mean, Jalen has Nicole Lynn, who's first black female agent.
Yeah.
And she's associated with Clutch for what it's worth. She's definitely negotiated deals before. I'm just saying, he's got a little bit of a different path too. He doesn't have the traditional, agent that a lot of guys have. So I don't know. I'm not saying that's going to affect anything. I'm just letting people know that. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out. I just think Howie's so good at this, and they know. Like, I don't know, man. Jalen's just different. I don't know if this gets contentious or anything.
Right. That's the thing right there. Jalen is a lot different than we've seen in most athletes.
I don't think it'll ever get contentious between the two, but he's a sound business mind for 24 years old. And I know people will try to put it in that contentious category for as long as it's drawn out. If it's drawn out into May, June, July, people are saying, there's bitterness on both sides. I don't think it'll ever get to that point.
Well, they can't do that, though. They can't hold him back that long and not because he won't be able to sign anybody.
That's my point. But that's why I said earlier that Jalen has the Eagles right by the you-know-what right now. Because a smart business move, a smart business move on his part would not to jump at an offer. It's like, wait. If I am measured by my peers, and I know I'm better than Kyler Murray, I know I'm better than Deshaun Watson right now. My record has shown in 1 year what they haven't been able to do over 2-3 years. Then I want to see what New York is going to pay Daniel Jones. Yeah. I want to see what Baltimore's going to. I want to see what Derek Carr lands and what they're going to pay him. Derek Carr's in the driver's seat. Does he go to the Saints? They got plenty of talent. Does he go to the Jets? They have plenty of talent. Now, you talk about the other teams that need quarterbacks. If I'm Derek Carr at this stage of my career, I'm not going to Carolina. Even though they have nice offensive weapons, I'm not going to Carolina. I'm not going to Houston. I'm not going to be a part of a rebuilding mode. I'm not going to be a temporary fix for we know Houston's going to draft their quarterback in the future. I'm not going to do that. He has two really, really good options right now. Two teams that desperately want a proven quarterback like him. I think they're done. They're done with the Zach Wilsons, the Andy Daltons, the Jameis Winstons, so on and so forth. Derek Carr's in a great position right now. What is Derek Carr worth to either one of those organizations? Now, Derek Carr has a much bigger body of work than Jalen Hurts, but correct me if I'm wrong. Have you seen Derek Carr in the Super Bowl yet?
Right.
With the amount of talent he's had on his rosters through the years?
Well, you're right, Derek. But the other thing is, I don't know if these teams have as many. I'm sure they don't have as many free agents as the Eagles have, but they all have to get their affairs in order too with the quarterback to bounce off to see what they can do in free agency also. Whether it's re-signing their guys or going out and making a play for somebody on the market. So everybody's got to have a sense of urgency here to get this thing moving.
Well, what do you do if you look at Seattle? Seattle, for instance, and Geno Smith. Are they going to franchise tag him or transitional tag him? He played like a starter. He made himself a starter. He made himself one of the top quarterbacks in the league. Do they trust him to be their leader from this point on?
He seems like a good candidate to me for the transitional tag. top 10.
Yeah.
Well, based on what Geno Smith, and this was within the last few days, based on what Geno Smith and the Seahawks front office have said, we're in the midst of negotiations, and we feel pretty good that something's going to get done. So it tells me a franchise tag right now, transitional tag right now, is not in the equation for those two. And that's another thing. What is Geno Smith worth?
Well, that's the thing too, though. Like,
that's why I brought that up. Yeah.
Think about him. He's a unique example.
Yep.
You've had a tough time throughout your career. You finally, at whatever he is, 32, got it. In a great situation, everything worked out. You want to mess with that and potentially go somewhere else and struggle? Take a little bit less, stay in Seattle in a comfort zone, and continue to just play well. I think probably is the better long-term answer for you if you're Geno, I would think.
Now, I agree. Now, we look at the teams that are quarterback desperate also. You have a few elite Derek Carr, possibly Aaron Rodgers out there. Now, for a team that may want a quick fix, here's the list right now of free agent quarterbacks. And you guys tell me who jumps out at you.
No.
Okay, we know Tom Brady's retired. So it goes Derek Carr, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Jimmy Garoppolo, Teddy Bridgewater, Mason Rudolph, Jacoby Brissett, Case Keenum, Joe Flacco, Geno Smith. Well, he's not going to go in anywhere. Andy Dalton, Mike White, Kyle Allen, C.J. Beathard, Taylor Heineke, Blaine Gabbert, Chad Henne, Chase Daniels, Nick Mullins, Drew Lock. It just gets worse. Josh Johnson, Tim Boyle, Joshua Dobbs, Nathan Peterman, Nate Sudfeld. Who do you want? Who do you want to hold it down for you?
See, that's tough, man. Like, and looking from this aspect also, look at a guy like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. There's definitely somebody out there that's going to give him a 5-year deal worth $75, $80 million.
Better believe it.
Yeah, there is.
Better believe it.
You know what I'm saying?
But Chauncey has now. See, if the Eagles can't sign him, here's the thing: is Chauncey have to decide. Man, I got so close from drinking that champagne instead of Kool-Aid. I had to drink Kool-Aid because I didn't win the trophy. I was right there. I had the cup in my hand. I was about to. Now, as I mentioned yesterday, the Bears are at the top of the cap list right now in terms of cap space, $90-something million. Do I want to go to Chicago and start all over again? I was that close. Do I want to go to Chicago? Do I want to go to Atlanta?
Look at the situation why he left the Saints. He left the Saints because he wanted them to give him a deal ASAP.
Yes.
That's the reason why he was so, he wanted to leave so bad. They knew they weren't going to be able to sign him to the money he wanted. That's why they traded him. Mm-hmm. Are we now in the same position the Saints are in? We're not wanting to pay him 5 years, $80 million.
Yeah, I mean, you might be, Barrett. I mean, you might be.
I don't see how the Eagles. Yeah,
absolutely.
I think so. I don't know how the Eagles could franchise one of the top players. If I'm going, as weird as it sounds, I might franchise. That's even just bad. It would be embarrassing at some degree if you try to franchise a T.J. Edwards, a Kazir White, or Marcus Epps.
You can't franchise T.J. Edwards because linebackers are
the money's insane.
Yeah, their linebacker is $20 million, 20.9.
Okay, yeah. So that's why I thought about it for a minute.
I mean, look, the Eagles' thoughts are we'll get Edwards and Epps back at a reasonable rate. Everybody else is almost everybody else is going to be insane.
Yep.
So that's the way they're thinking. That might get done quick with those guys, and they might look at it and say, "We got some nice signing bonus money." You got to kind of know who you are too. No disrespect to either one of those guys, but let's face it, you're not a superstar. I mean,
is Hargraves worth it though, Rob? Is Hargraves worth 18.9?
I think he is.
I think he is.
I think a defensive tackle will get you double-digit sacks. Especially if you're going to let Fletcher Cox and Sue and Joseph go. Yeah, because I would love to have the veteran. If I could come back with Sue, Milton Williams, and Jordan Davis, and then Tui Pelotu. Okay, I like that. I could deal with that.
Working and then on the outside, if you do sign back BG, but you still got Kyron Johnson, you got Patrick Johnson on the outside. They can play.
Sweat's back. Yeah. Reddick's back.
They got Jackson too. Jackson got hurt. I believe Jackson was going to get some serious playing time, man. Yeah. Remember him?
Yeah.
I truly believe he's a lot better than he would have had a great season this year, man. He was somebody that we saw as Trace. You remember number 75?
Yeah.
Kyron Johnson?
Yeah.
The defensive end?
Yeah.
I still like his juice, man. I thought he could play. I think that he's going to be one of those guys you look to and be like, all right, yeah, he can play. they also still got, Davion Taylor.
Right.
He sees now that he's got to really play now. Maybe that turns a leaf for him. Maybe that makes him want to go out there and play hard. These guys, we forgot all about, but they, because they didn't do anything this year. I mean, I think they can still go out there and play it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think the numbers will be anywhere near. This season was a once in a lifetime moment.
Yeah.
Enjoy. This was a season that Eagle fans will be talking about with their children 20 years from now.
Right.
In terms of the numbers put up, the roster that was assembled. My concern, and again, let me preface it by saying, I think Javon Hargrave is worth any and everything he can get. If you re-sign him to a big number, I believe if Fletcher Cox is gone, if Sue is gone, his overall numbers are going to suffer because you can focus in on him. But you know what? That's the nature of the beast. I think those other elements took a lot of pressure off him and allowed him to showcase his individual skills in 2022. If Fletcher is gone and Sue is gone and Joseph is gone, and you're relying on Jordan Davis, Milton Williams, that's not a knock against them. I think his numbers won't be near what they are right now, what they were this past season. That's understandable because more focus is going to be put on him in the trenches. I get that. But you know what? He's earned that right. He's a proven warrior in this league. He did it in Pittsburgh. He did it here. I don't care how he got to the final destination. He did it. Okay. So he deserves that. And we all know players get paid by their past performances in the NFL moving forward.
Well,
but it's so difficult. This is going to be great conversation. This is why I get jacked up to come on here daily, because we can talk about this every day, because the Eagles are in a situation financially. We've never seen this franchise in a situation like this.
What's their cap? What's their cap right now? What's their cap?
They have about $9+ million in space now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Usually you don't see, and they knew this because they signed a lot of guys to 1-year deals.
Sure they did.
You don't usually have this many free agents hitting at the same time. And like we talked about, for them, it's kind of a perfect storm in that all those guys had great years. Like think about the number you could maybe get Javon Hargrave at if he had 4 sacks or, whatever. I mean, but they all had great years for the most part. I'm looking at every single one of those guys who are free agents. I'm just trying to through Bradbury, excellent year. CJ Gardner-Johnson, excellent year. TJ Edwards, really good year. Kaiser White had, I would say, a solid year. Fletcher Cox, good year. Hargrave, excellent year. Epps, good year. Roman Quinn, we know he's not coming back, so you wouldn't even put him in that category. But Brandon Graham, double-digit sacks. Sue and Joseph were solid once they got here, solid. But those guys aren't going to be back. The ones who you really think are likely to come back almost all had good years for the Eagles. So we'll
I
see.
agree.
All right, so when we come back, guys, there's a couple more names thrown into the fire here for defensive coordinator. Guys they've interviewed, guys they're potentially looking at. So we'll go through who the people that they have interviewed that we didn't know about as of yesterday. So we'll dig into that a little bit. Reasons for confidence that this team can get back to the Super Bowl. Reasons for concern. We will do that. 1 o'clock, Bob Brook over. 2 o'clock, Todd Zalecki from Clearwater. Hey, by the way, StreamYard's having a technical issue with the chat section. So we're not by any stretch ignoring you. Trust me. We welcome your comments. We appreciate your comments. But right now we are just having trouble seeing them.
We can't see them. Yeah, we can't see them.
Due to a technical glitch with StreamYard. So as soon as we do, believe me, we will interact like we always do. So it's not anything on our end. We're working on it.
We can't see you, so don't think we're ignoring you.
We're not ignoring you. Trust me.
Yeah, so don't call us names for no reasons. I mean,
actually, you could do it now, and we wouldn't see it.
No, but we'll find out. I know who you are.
That's right.
I know where you all live.
That's right. All right, let's get a time.
I got people in every state.
Watch Derrick, man. He's got his spies everywhere. All right, we'll do that when we come back. We'll dig a little bit more into the Eagles and the coordinator search when we come back. That's Barrett. That's Derrick. I'm Rob. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network on this Tuesday. Let's talk about Jim Murray and Principal Financial Group. All right, you work hard. You want your money to work for you. You want to be taken care of later in life, okay? And it's hard to find the right person. I found the right person, and it's Jim Murray and Principal Financial Group. It could be retirement planning. It could be your 401k review. It could be your insurance review. He could help you with. You may not be getting the bang for your buck that you need to be getting, all right? I've entrusted my IRA, my 401k rollovers with Jim, and I couldn't be any happier. You will be as well. Give him a call, 610-996-4751, 610-996-4751, or you could email him, Murray, MURRAY.gym@principal.com. That's Murray.gym@principal.com.